Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Skate Nolly. So today I'm bringing you my whole recruiting process video. If you're watching this right now, I'm at BMT. I have no idea when I'm going to schedule upload it yet, but if you are watching it, I am at BMT, and it is between the month of February and March. So I'm just going to jump straight into it, make this video kind of quick. Number one, the recruiting process. Number one is going to be thinking about it. Thinking about it is a huge part of joining any military branch, for that matter. There's a lot, like for me, let me just go over personally, because everybody's situation differs. Like, I was going to be an art student, so joining the military was definitely something that was huge, and I had issues with like authority in high school and stuff like that. So I took into consideration, like, okay, like I can, deal with this authority and, do something completely different, or at least a little bit different than I wanted to do, and still be able to serve my country and get a paycheck. And that's where, like, you kind of have to balance things out and be like, okay, if I do these things, this is going to happen. It's just like write a list of pros and cons type thing. You just have to figure out what's going to work best for your life, because the military is definitely not for anybody. And you definitely don't want to go sign a contract for like 6 years, 4 years, and then look back 3 years down the road and be like, wow, I really wish I didn't do this. Because at that point, you still have another 3 years, or maybe it's 1 year, whatever it may be, and that sucks. So definitely just think about it, because it's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big decision. I mean, I made it myself, but like a lot of people don't want to be in the military because they don't want to be committed like that, or they want to go smoke a bunch of weed, and that's totally fine. If that's what you want to do, then go do it, but you can't do that in the military. So now next thing is going to be talking to a recruiter. Now, whether it's just reaching out to a recruiter, whether it's on the phone, whether it's a chat room on the computer, I don't know if that exists, but I'm sure there's a million different ways to talk to recruiters. Essentially, they're just going to ask you, like, have you ever smoked weed? When was the last time you smoked weed? Have you ever, what just some of the questions about, like, your physical being and your mental being, and just kind of stuff like that, making sure that you can join the Air Force, that you qualify to join the Air Force. That's the word I'm looking for. So they're just gonna ask you questions like that. After you do that, they might offer you to take like a practice ASVAB to see where you score in that. Essentially, you can ask them as many questions as you want, but if it's about a job or shipping or anything like that, they're gonna tell you, okay, like, before we can get into any of that, we have to take the ASVAB. So that takes you to number 3, which is taking the ASVAB. Essentially, like, I went really like 11 o'clock in the morning. I met at my recruiter's office. These guys in RAP, Recruiter's Assistance Program, drove me down to MEPS. I took my ASVAB in like an hour-ish, and then when I was done, I drove back up to his office, and we looked at the results, and then he sent me an email of all the jobs that I could do. So basically, I have a video talking about the ASVAB. I'm gonna put an annotation somewhere in the screen just so you can get there. But essentially, it really reminded me of the ACT. It's a test with 9 subtests in it. There's 4 like main core tests, like what like basic math and literacy and stuff like that, and then the other tests are going to be like your mechanics and computers, like electronics, and then you're going to have like assembling objects and science and a bunch of other stuff like that. And they place you in the Air Force where you're gonna work, what jobs you can do. So there's different aptitude areas. There's general, mechanical, electrical, and administrative. So those are where the jobs fly. And essentially, you're gonna pick one of those areas, or not necessarily. You don't have to pick one of those areas. You can pick as many jobs as you want, but the better you, like, let's say you only want general jobs because you've seen all of the jobs that are in the general area, then just kind of shoot for the tests that are mostly general. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to do really good in an electrical test if you don't want to be, electrician or something like that. That's kind of what it comes down to. Like, I didn't really care about being mechanics because I didn't want to be a mechanic. So anyways, number 4 is going to be, after you go to MEPS, after you take the ASVAB, after you have your list of jobs, you have to make a list of jobs. I made this list way down the road, but I made a list of like 20 to 30 jobs that I wanted to do. My recruiter told me that if you pick all medical jobs, or graphic job like graphic design and broadcast journalism, they're gonna send you home because you have to meet a certain criteria about that. So like, there's just so many things that you have to do. Like, there's so many. It's honestly a lot of thinking. Like, I put down jobs like graphic design, dental assistant, but also put down jobs, like aircraft loadmaster, and I put down a bunch of other mechanical jobs and some stuff in administrative, just because you need to have a wide range of stuff that you will be willing to do And honestly, it was really easy for me because it was like no matter what job I end up doing, I want to join the Air Force and I want to do it good. And I know for a fact that I'm going to get some sort of cyber job or some sort of general job that I liked just because of the ASVAB score that I got. But it might not be the same for you. That was my position. So I was able to put a really wide range of jobs, including some mechanical stuff, and still be like, okay, like I'm down to do this all the way to like this. Like it's a head to toe type thing. So number 5 is going to be going to MEPS for your physical. I think that's number 5. Yeah, sorry, I have a list. Number 5, now I have a video on this too. All these videos are about my experience as well, but essentially you're going to go down there, you're going to do a bunch of medical stuff, like they're going to test your hearing, they're going to test your eyes, take your blood, they're going to give you a pee test, they're going to give you a breathalyzer when you get there, ask you if you have any tattoos. After that, you're going to eat lunch or do something like that. You're going to interview with a doctor, and then you're going to go in another room with some doctor and like guys or girls, whatever gender you may be, and you're going to get down to your underwear. You're going to do a bunch of weird exercises with your hands. They're going to make sure you don't have any warts. You're going to do the infamous duck walk or whatever people like to say. It's really not that hard. Like it's kind of stupid that that's like what MEPS is known for, because there's so many other things that are like huge compared to that. It's stupid, but you're going to do much stuff like that, and if all goes well and you don't get disqualified from joining the Air Force, or temporarily disqualified, you are going to swear in. If you do get temporarily disqualified, the process is exactly the same, except you're going to need a waiver or whatever it may be. So that's if you're temporarily disqualified. If you're permanently disqualified, then I'm sorry. But you're going to swear into DEP if everything does go well, or after you get the waiver, and that's basically swearing into inactive reserves in the military. So you're going to sign a contract with a bunch of your fingerprints and stuff, and then at like the Air Force liaison or your job counselor or whatever they're called, they're going to write down a bunch of jobs, like okay, so you go to MEPS with that list of 20 to 30 jobs, and you narrow that down to like 10 jobs, and those are the 10 jobs that you really want to do that you put on your list, and then you will reserve one of those jobs. It's not guaranteed, but you will reserve at least one of those jobs, hopefully in like 3 months that you do swear in. It takes people up to like 11 months sometimes, so it just really depends on you. It took me like 2 months, 3 months. So then after that, you're going to go to DEP calls. I think this is number 6. You're going to go to DEP calls, DEP commander calls, whatever they want to call them. And then this is the big part here, is going to be preparing for BMT. Now, when I first started thinking about joining the Air Force, that's when I really started to work out and I really started to like look into everything. So before I even went to MEPS for my physical, I pretty much knew everything, but that's not the same for everybody. So after you swear in, you really want to start, learning about the Air Force. You want to learn about, push-ups, sit-ups, and running requirements. You want to learn about, the rank structure and the Air Force song and the Airman's Creed and all that sort of stuff, because that's the stuff you're going to have to know at basic and the stuff you're going to have to do at basic. So when you know all that stuff, you can kind of be content. You're going to, get your BMT packing list. I have a video about that. You're going to just start putting everything together. You're going to be super stressed out like I was, or like I am right now. It's kind of calmed down now that I'm leaving. Now I just kind of have butterflies in my guts, but you're going to do all this stuff, and then you're going to go like every first and third Thursday or whatever it may be for your recruiter to a DEP commander call, where you're going to talk to him, ask him a bunch of questions you may have, and talk to other people in DEP. You guys might work out or practice drill, or we went bowling one time, so it really just depends. And then my recruiter told me that there would be some people from RAP there sometimes too, but there wasn't. But it might happen for you. Those are people like fresh out of tech school, so they actually are pretty good for like resources, I guess. And then after that, you're just gonna kind of get ready to ship. So that's pretty much it. Like, that's the whole process. Oh yeah, there's one other thing in DEP is briefings. You have a 45-day brief, a 30-day brief, a 2-week brief, and then a 5-day brief. And then I think you have like a last day brief before you leave too, which is like me for tomorrow for me. So the briefings, they just kind of go over, you check a bunch of stuff, like maybe you have got pulled over, like yes I have got pulled over, no I have got pulled over, yes I paid the ticket, yes I have a debit account, whatever it may be. So you'll see, it's really straightforward. And then you just kind of ship out. You go to MEPS. I guess he told me that they kind of go over your body again, not naked, but like they leave you in your underwear, they make sure you don't have any warts and stuff again. And then you sign your contract, you swear in, and then you ship out on an airplane. So that's essentially it for the whole recruiting process. Don't forget to drop a like on this video. Let me know your ship dates down below with your AFSC so all of you can connect. Now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, pray for me and wish me luck at BMT, because right now I might be, you know, sleeping or running whenever you're watching this video, or unless it's like in the future and I'm out of BMT then. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and peace out.